Before jumping into the SQL, we will be shortly talking about the database and data. So first of all, data is a piece of information, right? And it can be anything, for example, bank account and some related things and data to the bank account might be, for example, account number, account type, or user first name, last name, balance, and some other things. And this is actually data, and it should be kept somewhere, it should be stored somewhere. And here the database comes in. Database is actually a storage where all the information that we have is kept. And its simplest definition is that database is an organized collection of structured information or data, and typically it's stored electronically nowadays. And nowadays many databases are structured in a way that it has some relationships between the tables, and the tables consist of rows and columns. And in order to manipulate with the information inside of those tables, we need to use some language, some query language. And here's SQL comes in. SQL, which stands for the Structured Query Language, is the most popular language which has been used for several decades, and it's actually used by many databases such as MySQL, Oracle database, or PostgreSQL. So if you learn SQL, you're gonna be fine to work with almost any database that utilizes. In this video, we're gonna talk about the relational database. Probably you know what is relational database intuitively. So first of all, relational database consists of multiple tables. For example, if you look at the HR database, we can see that HR database consists of these tables, which are called departments, locations, countries, regions, and etc. And each table consists of columns and rows, and the example of the columns here would be employee ID, start date, end date, job ID, department ID. And each column, of course, would have some, attributes, some values, which are actually the rows. So columns plus rows would equal to a table, right? And then many tables related, with each other is a relational database. And how it's actually related, because these are the separate tables, right, with different, information. And let's look at these columns. For example, employee ID. And employee ID can be a key to relate with another table. For example, let's look which table has employee ID. Okay, so employees table here has an employee ID too. So this is the way how they are related. They are related with each other with the help of the common key. In this case, this is employee ID column. And let's look at another table just to give an example. So department ID. Okay, here departments, and if I want to relate this department table with the job history, it would be this column, department ID, and here. So in later videos, I'll show you how to join separate tables, and at that moment I'll be explaining more how to use the primary keys and foreign keys. So far we learned what is a database and what is a relational database. Now we need to know what is a database management system. Basically, this is a collection of programs that enables you to, first of all, store your information. You want to store your data in certain database, and then the management system, database management system, actually is a medium that will help you to store the information. And second, it helps you to modify that information. Well, After you store your information, you store it for some certain purpose. You want to do something with that data, right? And here, database management system helps you to modify, change that information. Last but not least, database management system helps you to extract that data from the database, and to do some other actions that you need to. And we also have some term called Relational Database Management System. And so this is the management system solely for the relational models. And the examples are MySQL, Oracle, PostgreSQL. These are some examples of the relational database management which are widely used nowadays, because SQL is getting even more popular because it's easy to understand, easy to follow, and it's very structured, as we have already discussed. Now let's move to the introduction to SQL. Let's talk about the structured query language itself. SQL is designed for managing data held in a relational database management system, meaning that it doesn't work for the non-relational database management systems. So please keep in mind. And next, SQL actually became a standard language for storing, manipulating, and retrieving data in databases. So this is a very good news if you want, if you still don't know which database management system you are going to use, for example, I don't know, in your work or in your internship. So MySQL, Microsoft Access, Oracle, PostgreSQL, they all use structured query language. So if you know SQL, you can feel free to use any of those relational database management systems. And of course, what can SQL do for you? You need to know that it can actually execute queries against the database. It can retrieve data from your database, insert records, update records, create new databases. Everything you need to do with database, basically, SQL can do for you. Query is just a set of instructions. It's actually a sentence where you write specific, keywords and tell what to do with the tables, with the data inside of the database. For example, let's look at this. Here we say select, and we are selecting certain columns, right? Certain information, and we are selecting customer name and city, and we need to tell where we're selecting it from, and we are telling from customers. So meaning that customers here is a name of the table. So we are asking SQL to retrieve information from the customers table, and we want specifically customer name and city. To set up a working environment, we will jump to the Google, and I'll show you how to set up. Okay, so let's start from the very beginning. Just search for the SQL Live Oracle, and it will pop up somewhere here, and go to the Live SQL, which is from Oracle. Go ahead and open that page, and you will see that this is actually the Live SQL, the environment where we are going to learn SQL, where we are going to practice. So, and to be able to work here constantly, we need to sign up. If you don't have an account here, please go ahead and sign up here. Create an account. So whenever you click on create an account, you will be redirected to this page. Let's go ahead and create all together. So I'll do this, and so let's create it together. And then I will choose, and then so company name, address, city, and write whatever you want. And after you click create account, you will see this page. So you will receive an email. Please go ahead and check your email. And here you have an email. So please go ahead and open to verify your email address. After you verify your email address, you will be able to work here. Let's go ahead and continue. Okay, so now just go to the Oracle Live SQL and please go ahead and sign in. Accept. And now you are already signed in. Okay, now you're signed in. Let's go ahead and have a quick look at the ID that we're going to use. This is actually an online SQL developer. This is a very great tool for the beginners, especially because it has sample databases and it's very easy to navigate, and it's one of the best online resources where you can just practice your SQL queries. And we will be using the SQL worksheet here. Here is actually the place where we will be typing the SQL queries and executing them. For the entire course we will be using the HR sample database. Please go ahead and connect to that. If you go to the schemas, you will see that these are all the sample databases. You can't modify them, but you can retrieve the information from those databases in order to practice your SQL skills. And let's go ahead and connect to the human resources database. And here you go, you will see countries, departments. These are all different tables which are located inside of the human resources database. And we will go to the SQL worksheet, and during the next videos we will use this live SQL in order to practice to learn SQL.